exciting afternoon here as far as individual high-flying, low-float stocks are concerned. If you're watching this ADTX move, just insane, back to the upside. Meanwhile, the overall market kind of chopping around, not really doing a heck of a lot. There is a ton, however, of individual movers to touch on as we head into the final couple hours of the day. Here's how the board is setting up as far as the S&P is concerned. Amazon still jumping off the page here, 2+% to the upside. Walmart, Costco, Home Depot, all the retailers outside of that also, for the most part, in positive territory. There are a few, including CVS downside. TJX was also negative on the day, but has since crawled its way back into positive territory. I mentioned this morning there was a fair amount of negativity and weakness throughout the banking group. Still the same. Not much has changed, really. Healthcare stocks downside as well, outside of Eli Lilly. Standing out there 1.2% to the downside. Everything else negative on the session. Back to basically flat here for both Apple and NVIDIA. 0.15 for NVIDIA, 0.24 for Apple. But there's Broadcom, 3% to the upside. Nice day for Broadcom. QCOM as well, having a nice day, 1.4 in positive territory. Lots of positivity up here as well. Meta, Adobe, Cisco, Google, Oracle standing out there relatively weak. CRM off earnings, as we touched on. 3.7% still to the upside. Pretty impressive as far as tech has been concerned. The past couple of days, it's been the NASDAQ leading the way. Not really the case today. I mean, it's up more than the S&P, but only just. DBGI, meanwhile, is keeping an eye on that. There was a ton of volume that came back in through lunchtime. If you zoom out, remember yesterday, this thing had a big move as well, back to the upside. So we're through 13. Coming back in a little bit for DBGI. Not a lot, however, of volume. 756,000, in fact, for that one. Let's get into a few things we were touching on if you're with us in the pre-market this morning, including CRM. As I mentioned, top of the list after an absolute blowout report after the close yesterday. If you're with Sean in the after show, make sure you stick around every day at 4 o'clock. Full recap. This was the big headliner yesterday, just a rocket ship, 216 up to 230. We top out at that point in the pre-market this morning. Hasn't been much to do unless you're looking on the short side. Still, as I said, holding on to 3.5% as we head into the final couple hours here on a Thursday afternoon.
Brendan, about the after show. It was a lot of fun yesterday. We had Kreda coming through, the trading psychologist, and me and you are actually talking about her right now and some of the things that she had just said about being able to execute your plan. One thing is to have a plan. The other thing is to execute it, you know, and I think that that's something that's obviously very, very important to be able to do that. But welcome back. We did talk about CRM. We got out of CRM by the skin of our teeth right here today. We were long it, hit some nice trades, man, made $2 on this 224 long. We actually got out at 226.25, made 250, making more money there before eventually it broke that 224 area, and then we bailed on it. And I know Sharif had a beautiful short in CRM as well, and we didn't even get back to VWAP. So yeah, this name, look, we like the company. I actually even heard Sharif say that, great company, but if the short is there and it sets it up, that's what you want to do. And it was a great short off VWAP and the 50 period all the way down. So although we were long, I mean, I could zoom in, I guess it doesn't really matter. Although, oopsies, I have the line built there. Although we were long, we were able to get away from it and took advantage of that. So lucky on that side of things that we were able to get away. There's been a couple other names here. We actually just got stopped out on AMC, but AMC, we tweeted this out a little bit. We were able to get some great out. Like, this out was just before we went off air, man. That was almost $1 there. That was 80 cents all the way up. Just kept taking it out. And again, you know, good outs there on AMC, and pretty proud of that trade today. And then we got a dip, and Obi was like, how'd you get that dip? That came right into these levels there from last night, into the 70s, took that, got those out again at 1302. So look at, you know, you can clearly see the price that we have right now. So good little levels that we're working on, but still more to come here, obviously, for CRM. So we'll see what's up with that. But yeah, we're rocking here. Just got to get some orders in check here on the market. But yeah, so far so good today. We did get stopped out there on AMC. And then the big one that we have right now, of course, is NVIDIA. And wow, that looks like a nightmare. And I'll discuss that as we go. But we do have a lot of things to cover here. We have Frank Caberti coming at 2:45 as well. How was your midday?
It was okay. I guess I went on that walk. I came to some realizations, and you know, my trading wasn't the best. I don't know if I even want to call it trading. Some of what I did in the morning, but yeah, I guess the realization I came to was that I guess I wasn't prepared. There was Amazon clearly had a catalyst, and I undervalued that catalyst. Right, and they had this news with it was Shopify. Shopify was up as well, and I think I had a talk with a couple of traders, and it's just like the doors that it potentially opens up for Amazon is potentially big.
Oh, for Shopify.
Yeah.
For Amazon. Yeah.
Sellers on Shopify being associated with Amazon Prime, right? And I guess with that, it definitely caught a bid, right? Like I disregarded the catalyst, and I fought the trend. I fought the pressure. I realized that it was there, so I was like, yeah, you know what? This is it's not the right mindset. Clearly not prepared for that type of trade, and I kind of fought it. So did a bit of reflection.
Ooh, reflection.
That's kind of what happened.
I like that. Yeah, shout out to all those that are reflecting as well. No, pretty crazy day out there in the market today. Look what's happening with Palantir right now. You are starting to get going on this name, of course. Right back up to the upside there. Great little dip buy opportunities that were had. You heard Yannick had this trade as well. We're just getting it back now. I could have averaged in. We were close, man. My bid's at 61 on this name. So if we zoom back in here, that dipped down. It's unbelievable that it went to 65, but that doesn't matter. That's trading. So let's see what happens here with Palantir, as it looks like it's trying to get back up to the upside. But anyways, Brendan, I'm ruining like every single name that we may talk about over the next little while. So let's go back maybe over to the desk. I'm excited to hear what Frank has to say today, to be honest with you, because you can see the way the treasuries and all this fixed income is moving around.
Yeah, another move down here for 10-year, 2-year, 30-year. I even saw was negative on the day. So we'll talk to Frank coming up here. After, obviously, PCE this morning comes in a little bit questionable, to say the least, although this note suggesting otherwise. What's the Fed to do here after the jobs report as well to come tomorrow? That's going to be the big headliner, 8:30 tomorrow. We'll get August, obviously, non-farm payrolls. So we'll see ahead of Fed Chair Powell and his crew to come up in a couple of weeks here on the 13th, I believe it is. The next time we get CPI first, and then the following week is the Fed decision. But yeah, if you missed it this morning, it was all about this. I mean, they're calling it benign, but I don't know if it's benign at all. All the data we had going into this print this morning was suggesting that, yeah, inflation was moving in the right direction. There were certain areas of this print this morning, however, that was a little bit higher. Once again, back to the upside. So across the board, I mean, we touched on CRM. Sharif joining us always here. We touched on CRM here. It turns out to be a bit of a fade off the highs. But this PCE print, interesting in the sense that we're still not there yet.
No, and we haven't been below 4% since September 2021 on the core PCE print, which is a long time here. I mean, this is 2 years in the making now to be above that rate, especially in light of the Fed always saying that they want that print to be around 2%. So tough look, but with respect to CRM, Brendo, yeah, it was sort of a sell the news event. They had blow-away earnings. Let's look at the chart over here. Yesterday, they get up to about 230, but it's a bit of a double top, Brendo, because we couldn't get through that level again today, and now just holding that 220 barely.
Yeah, tough market. Obviously, we're chopping around here as far as the overall NASDAQ and S&P are concerned. I was going to grab this Morgan Stanley note here for Palantir. We'll talk about that as well while we're here. Palantir back to the downside in a pretty big way off of this Morgan Stanley downgrade. Come on, equal weight, underweight from equal weight. They go to $8.29, however. So one of those, let's downgrade a stock, but then increase the price target.
I love that. Of course, Palantir, look, their AAPL, which is the platform that they're trying to use here to reach out to the commercial sector. Analysts saying, we don't really see that taking off, and the government contracts aren't going to be enough to kind of buoy this one. We'll have to wait and see.
Let's be honest, it's at 14. So is it really an increase in the actual price target? One of those days, though, when you get a downgrade with a huge influence on a stock. From time to time, we'll get downgrades. Basically all the time, we get downgrades on stocks. Sometimes they just do the exact opposite, but not the case here today for PLTR.
No, not at all. Palantir was frustrating because you know, again, that 1460, we pulled it out and we talked about that 1460 level over and over again this morning, and that's exactly what hit. I mean, remember I was saying, you know, forget about 1480, look at 1460 in the middle right here. That came out, it wicked that bottom and then just started to go right back up to the upside. Still a lot of work needs to be done on Palantir. We're nowhere near where it really should be. Like, go to your home, Palantir. And, you know, I think it needs to at least get back up to VWAP here. We're starting to take some profits, noticing that this 15 seems to be holding pretty good here. VWAP is only at 1508 right now. Look, I like the name. I think Morgan Stanley can puff pass on this one. I just think that they either, I mean, look, here's the dump down right now, big sell right there. Then it was back up to the upside. This is the kind of indicator that you're really looking for. Shout out to Sahed in the chat there, said that I must be the only guy trading today. And I feel like the volumes are really super light. And yeah, man, with all these executions I've had today, probably a little bit too many. But I'm pretty happy with everything on Palantir. We could have lost a lot more than we did. And in fact, we could still get this back upside. So let's see if it wants to hold the day. The market is up right now, 0.5, as we can all see right here. And Palantir kind of going back upside there. So what did I learn off of a day like today? Basically, that we have to, regardless of what we're thinking, it's always better, man, to wait, to put on the big amount of shares when something happens. And honestly, this move down on a downgrade, no surprise, should not have caught me by surprise, should not have caught any of you by surprise there. It was downgraded, that move happened. We were trying to defend 15, worked, we got that, we got back up, but then when it broke, it just started to bleed down. And then there's that 1480 break that we talked about. Good thing we were able to get a little bit back in there for this ride back to the north side. But yeah, a little bit of a difficult trade there today. It sucks when you believe in something and then it doesn't really follow through. But I still have hope that Palantir can go. The only problem is, obviously, it's down 8%, right? And so you had that SSR bounce down there in the 60s. That was a great call. I know some of the boys had it here, which was fantastic. It's always nice when people are making money. I just think I should have made more.
Yeah, I think in the morning we talked about how there were sellers here in the past couple of weeks. So right here, if we can go to the chart right here, at the $15-16 level last week, August, I have August 17th here, right? So right here, there we go. Sellers came in again, and then today and this morning we talked about sellers coming in and around these levels, but there's something I want to note here. Every time these sellers have came in, take a look at some of these lows. These lows keep on getting higher and higher, right? So I think that's something to note, that there is the liquidity against some of these sellers is stepping up over the past couple of weeks, and then we've kind of done that a little bit here today too. So just looking left, I think we have a good chance of kind of pushing back towards some of these highs there once we finish that consolidation on Palantir.
I was just looking. Let's just come over here just real quickly because I know Yannick was talking about this. ADITXT here, ADITXT is the name of the company. So ADITXT, I guess. Why don't they have the E in there? But wow, man, we're halted again. It's 57.20. Oh man, so this must have been a SPAC, I'm guessing, because we just SPAC'd out all our whole life down here at $10, and then all of a sudden gets going here today. Wow. Not much to say about this name other than it's gone. Right now you have $60 as the tap. This is going to be another 5-minute halt on the limit up, limit down. So we are almost open again here. Brendo, I know it's a lot of work up on there and you were running through a few things, but this is just SPAC, I guess, low float, starting to run up here, ADTX. I have to apologize because although I heard the guys trading it here on the midday, I did not look at it myself because it just kept on halting every level. And I was just like, okay, this is not in my wheelhouse normally. Obi, nor is it in Neil's, nor is it really in anybody's.
Where do you really take that?
That's the thing, is like, when do you really take it?
That's the chase all the way.
We've seen so many of these, Obi, that they make this move, and then this is not a VFS. Like, VFS actually kept open for more than a minute. This one can't stay open. But again, as of 1 o'clock, it just started right now. So that's why, a little bit low on the knowledge there. Brendan will obviously get that for us. I think, did I close? I must have closed my trade ideas bar that I'm looking for. So I'm going to get that open back up, and then we'll find out some details on this ADTX, guys.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's 200,000 shares. That's why. It reverse split a couple of times now, but the last one was going back a week or so ago. But I was saying to Sharif, Neil and I a week ago, we were trying to find the minimum float rule in the U.S., and we actually couldn't find anything that was written that was describing that. So it's crazy that 200,000 shares. There's also BDRX is another one I just saw, which is 534,000 shares. So there's a bunch of these just crazy, crazy low float stocks just going absolutely nuts right now. So just crazy. Anyways. CrowdStrike, 162 coming into play right now. Big move to the upside today coming off their earnings. We were touching on that this morning as well.
Yeah, they don't even have $1 billion in revenue on the quarter, so they're not as big as I thought they were, but they beat on the top and bottom line. It was a good look for them. We know that corporate spending hasn't really decreased in the IT security space, and that's what they specialize in. Let's have a look at the chart here because this is what is most important. Couple of bounces here off VWAP, Brendo. Seems to be holding that level just a smidge below 162.
Yeah, impressive to say the least. Just grinding along here, guys. Top or high end of the day.
Strong, very strong on the day.
Okay.
What's happening?
No, ADTX opened up again.
Yeah, and then it halted?
Yeah, come to my screen. It immediately halted again. I mean, so it just did exactly the same thing. It halted, 57, opens up 60, halts 67, 66.06, now tapping $70. Look, I really, really think that there needs to be some kind of an investigation because the thing is like, it's so much crap that this can actually happen. Why is it even allowed to reverse split? Like, why did it reverse split here? Like, I don't understand. Like, obviously it's under $1. It goes right back up to the upside. But just like these guys were saying, you shouldn't be allowed to do that if it's just going to create a float of 200,000 shares or whatever it is. It just, haven't they learned? I mean, I guess they haven't learned. That's just a rhetorical question. But like, this is part of the problem why nobody trusts the markets. It's great. It's great for us. Don't get me wrong. But we've had a lot of people on our chat. And I mean, I get messaged all the time. I know Neil does too. I'm sure Brendo does. We all probably do. And it's just like people getting blown out on these things. And they're just like, man, I went long. I wasn't sure what to do. And it's just, you know, like if you're caught here at $70, that's great. But this thing could just flush right back down again. And it's like, what's the reason for doing that? If the reason for it going up is that the fact that it's a low float name, that's great. So shouldn't it just go up to infinity? Like people are gonna just continue to get blown out until at some point, whoever's underwriting this thing drops shares on here. And then the next thing you know, they're short up here and the people are screwed. So it's just a matter of time before someone takes this and gets completely screwed. I'm glad people are making money, and I hope that's you guys. But all we can sort of do is just caution that these are the things that happen in the market, and you have to be very, very careful with all of your positions. We're going to talk about cannabis stocks, obviously near the end. We just took another one out, so that's going to be a... Here I am. I'm jealous, first of all. Like when you hear me go on these rants, I would much rather have been in the name than to sit here and do that and talk like that because I know there's traders out here making money, but I've been in this game way too long that I know that day traders, especially here at Day Trade the World, a lot of the time traders get their butt handed to them on trades like that because you're just a little bit too late to the game. Okay, CrowdStrike right now. Again, huge day. We talked about it breaking through that 160 level, and I kind of was just looking at this chart and saying that we had a great number from PNW. There's the break up now. You're starting to go on this. 166 next incoming. We can't, again, you know, everyone trades your own book, but you have to like the story. I like the story behind Google. We always like the story behind Apple. Now you get it, I said why we like it. Internet security, right? When you're talking about cybersecurity coming into what is a very, very important couple years coming through. You're gonna have the election cycle. You're going to have, obviously there's a lot of back and forth with international worries as far as China-US relations, as far as hacking is concerned. That seems to be at all-time highs right now. Data breaches, things like that. So people are going to have to buy some Cisco. They're going to have to buy some PanW. And you know what? There probably is, and not probably, there definitely is an ETF for all of this. But if Cisco didn't tell you what was up on their earnings report, then shout out to my uncle, but Bob is your uncle because that was a very, very clean report from Cisco. You don't get Cisco moving like this too often, but Cisco led the way, and yeah, that's what that is. So stay with themes, Obi, and I think that this is one that we're going to like for a while. It's the reason why I'm buying Tesla on dips. Anything that I believe is a true AI play needs to be bought up on dips. And in fact, NVIDIA is just justifying all of that. Right? The shorts thought they had that thing down to 450, which they did. But look, it's right back to $5. It's going to close again at a record high.
Yeah, for sure. We talked about this CrowdStrike kind of that earnings reaction candle, this 15-minute range, plus that 150 hold, right? In the morning, this pre-market, that's what we talked about. And look at how that high break kind of comes in. We can go down into the 1 minute even, and look at how that price. I'm gonna say it was decently clean, right? We can take an exact high of that candle. You guys see that 157 right there. So 157. Let's take a look at what it did on the 1 minute right when it got to 157. You see that? It breaks, it holds, wick bottoms the 157, and then it's on a run. So yeah, I guess I missed that trade as well, and we talked about it, but this was not on one of my main watches for the day, unfortunately. But yeah, look at that 157, that earnings reaction range clean break of that high off of that, and then we just continue and hold. Very, very strong on the day, CrowdStrike.
I just want to say what's up because Stan X, not Stan X. I just tweeted at him there. Stan O. He said, thanks for admitting that I was jealous about ADTX. Yeah, man. I mean, for sure. Anytime there's these big kind of trades out there, I feel like we all wish we had them earlier.
Yeah. I wish I had it as a SPAC.
No, but it wasn't even a SPAC. It was a reverse split, so I knew nothing about that.
Okay.
But again, congratulations. And that's where I think that a Trade Ideas scanner or eSignal, whatever. I mean, we're in bed with Trade Ideas, but whoever you're scanning with, if those are your kind of trades, man, let's go. That's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, no hatred here, man. It's so hard to make money trading that if you can find an edge that you can continue to hit over and over again, you might as well do that. And the thing about an ADTX, and I'm just going to sort of backpedal a little bit here, and that is that if you take every one of these, you need to have these monster winners. Because so as many times as they don't work, that they do work, there's many times that they don't work as well, right? And so that's where I say congratulations to everybody. We're about to open back up, and I just want to say the turn, I'm not going to call the turn on, come over to my screen, please, if you can. I'm not going to call the turn on ADTX, but this is the first time the tap has gone lower since I've been looking at it. So it was just 70, looks like, see now 67, it's going lower right now. So it just closed at 66, it's going to open at 67. It has always opened significantly higher. I guess not, yeah, even right here, it's gap 24, open 27 or so, gap close 56, open 60, then here we're gapping to 66. Let's see where we open. If you kind of play the math there, it should be a couple bucks higher. But right now, the tap is 66. The tap is 66 right now on ADTX. So I don't know if this means the game's over, but right now we're tapping below. Now we're tapping $64. The first time we are going to open below. Although in here, I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to zoom back out, but you're starting to tap below. Now $63 on this name. So if you just bought the last up, you'll probably be fine, but it's now $61, $60 is the tap on this. So what time did we close at? We closed at 1640s. So we should have been open. So this looks like it's going to be a 10-minute halt on this one. Not good as they try to figure out the price. Right now, $60 on ADTX. So there you go. We'll have it when it opens back up. What's going on over there?
It's the ADTX auction. Literally an auction. Alibaba back on the list this morning along with the rest of the Chinese ADRs. I was just noting we're taking out the highs right now for BABA, some of the other ones as well. I just saw this, it came up during lunchtime, but kind of an interesting note. Central Bank in China going to cut mortgage rates, even though they went the other direction with interest rates recently, which is a weird look, but should be good as far as the overall economy is concerned to spur things on a little bit. We got that note going back to the beginning of the week on their market and trading fees getting cut in half as well.
Yeah, the real estate market there has definitely been reeling. Evergrande and others underwater, looking for some support here to spur on demand. But let's talk about the equities. Brendo mentioned Baba. Baidu was also in the news yesterday, It was selected by the Chinese government as their Ernie bot was selected as the AI chat GPT of China, and it made its way up to #1 in the App Store in China.
Surprise. Here's JD as well. Very similar, trying to take out or at least test the highs here, guys, this afternoon. So some of the Chinese names showing some strength.
Yeah, it's puff pastime right now with Tilray as that continues to go to the upside. So that's going to be a good one right now for TLRY. People ask me what I thought about MSOS. We'll talk about that when it's time because that's coming up next. I don't have any Chinese names on board today. You know, one that we sort of look at when they had that earnings was NIO. That was at the beginning of the week, I believe, on earnings. And they're kind of just hovering around. Again, a nice top there at 1080 back down to the downside. I've sort of talked about my disdain for some of these names, but that doesn't mean just because I don't like them doesn't mean that they don't have a great possibility to go back up to the upside. $10 looking like a good little level there for NIO. You talk about Baidu because that's really where the focus is here. Great bottoms again, man. And again, bouncing off the 50 period, looking like a good little trade there. I don't really see, it didn't really, none of my magical lines here really came through. I was showing Obi some stuff on a 5-minute chart, so I think we'll maybe start to look at that for a little bit of a longer term plays coming through as we have a 20 down here, a day, and a 1. I do have other charts that we're looking at up here. Right now, obviously, I'm just on ADTX waiting for that thing to get going as well, but here's a 5-minute chart with the same lines on it as well. So yeah, Baidu, haven't been overly interested in this, but yeah, that's a nice move on the market, man. The market bounces this afternoon, and Baidu goes right back up to the day's high. So if you like this name, I think you're coming up to 144, which would be the day's high. That's not a horrible short as well. So there's that, and then the other one that I always trade, I never trade Baidu, is Alibaba. And again, this one almost getting back to Greensville, which is nice. I feel like China's getting a little bit desperate. But the one thing that I was thinking about, you know how they cut their trading tax in half so that they can state sponsor and get back in and buy all these names back up before they dump them on the market again? Why not just buy Alibaba then, or something like that when we got that news? I mean, if that's what I really do think is happening, then yeah, I mean, look at Alibaba over the last couple of days, right? That news was, I think it was, today's Thursday, I think it was Monday, I think it was over the weekend. So look at this, you've had 4 straight days, right, where it's just been kind of going back up to the upside. It's above the 50 period. So I say it is full steam ahead, baby. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but if we break that 94.20, what is that looking like? We're getting close to that right now. This is not a horrible spot to get going. You know, they've been bringing it up here the last couple of days. Look, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, get a dip down yesterday. And then right now, trying to get back to that top. Wouldn't be surprised. I actually really like that trade. 94.25, break long on Alibaba.
I think something to add on to that as well. Take a look at this 92 area, right? It was a resistance before multiple times, 1, 2, 3 times, and then over the past couple of days, Baba's been gapping down, probably because the market or whatever other reasons. But take a look at how it interacts with this 92. You have this consolidation, it gets bought up, right? Gap back down, 92s, gets bought back up. Gap back down, 92s, gets bought back up. Right into that 94. So right now, for the past few days, we've just been in this very strong range between 92 and 94 since that news kind of came out, and we bid up into in between these levels. So I think that's something to keep a note about. And if that 92 or that 94 kind of comes back in, I think I know what I'll definitely be looking at.
Before we just go back over there, I just want to go over to the current halt page here for NASDAQ because this ADTX is not open yet. So we're more than 10 minutes right now. So here's ADTX at 216, so we talked about that. So it is a limit up, limit down. So it should be opening up relatively soon. And normally that's a 10-minute halt, if not 5 minutes. So we'll wait to see here resumption time. It doesn't have anything. Resumption quote time right there. So yeah, there's nothing listed in here. You could see there it is, SQL, 5 minutes, right? On a limit up, limit down. Right here, BDRX just opened up right now, 5 minutes. So this one, no time yet as they get ready to figure it out on ADTX. Just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention because we know there are people in that one. And let's just go over to BDRX really quickly here. As I know, Brett, we got to go because we have Frank coming, so this is all my bad. But there we go, another move. BDRX, man, another one starting to go upside right there today. So yeah, man, again, congrats. There's some nice coiling up and then blast off on that. A couple different halters coming through on BDRX, but it's ADTX that we're waiting for, guys.
Yeah, we were just saying it's interesting to see some of these other ones now going with ADTX starting to come back in. FLAG is another one, another SPAC. It's a little bit bigger, 4 million shares, but Flag also tried to go there. Here's Tilray, meanwhile, just tested 305, got back above 3, and I mean, for now, it's trying to hold back above 3, but we were wondering if there's going to be follow-through today. Answer definitely yes, if you zoom out here. Pretty impressive 2 days in a row here for cannabis.
Yeah, another 13% day after the Department of Health and Human Services suggested that it should be removed from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Rahim Alani on the morning show talking about how that could basically streamline the way that these companies do businesses. They don't have to worry about these interstate borders and can't do banking in one, not the other.
Rahim also reminding everyone that cannabis is not heroin. Quote of the day.
Wait, what?
Cannabis is not heroin?
Yeah, I know. I'm just playing around. Yeah, no, he said that earlier on. He was just like, because it's Schedule 1. You know, like, how could it be the same? Yeah, anyways, we'll just do this. I mean, if they ever do like something like this, me shooting up heroin or something like that, then that would be a problem for sure. But anyways, it's a kid's show. All right, so Tilray, I mean, absolutely no mistakes at all here on Tilray for me. We weren't in it early. That's the mistake as it went back to the upside. But we posted there on the sticky note that we really wanted to get involved when it broke near this $3 level, because we've been up here before and just fallen off. So I didn't really want to buy into this area, which we definitely should have, 270, 260 into there. But there's the daily chart for Tilray. Here's what it looks like yesterday. There's the news. And this is what I'm talking about. Look, boom. It's just a suggestion that this gets moved, right? So I don't know what tier it's going to move to or if it's even going to get moved at all. No surprise here, as again, this is something that's going to have to get discussed on both sides of the aisle before anything gets done. So we'll have to wait to see what's going on right now as the legalities of this all gets played. But we took the 3 break, so that was okay early. And we got them out at 10s, only a little bit. Why? Because that's 10 right here. So we already topped out there once before, so we took it. But that was only out of like maybe 20%. Normally we're getting out at 10% every time. Then we let it come back into 85. Uh-oh, the fly is, you can't see it, but it's on my screen. Oh, it was just on my screen. Yeah, that's right, fly. Keep pissing off Sharif and see what happens. But anyways, it came right back in, let it fall into these levels. I mean, again, Obi was like, why did we take this? It was the 50 period on the 5-minute chart. I'm going to put the 5-minute chart up in a minute. But that's 285. We took that fill, and you know, the rest kind of is history. Then it's just been going back up. We took some outs here as we get to VWAP, get back above the $3. We take those outs. Then it fades back. We get some more out. Then it comes back. Like, anyways, it's just back and forth. We'll hold on for the dream, but I feel like right now it's all a dream because it's not. Magazine? Yeah, you know that song. But the thing is that it's not really moving. So we got to get that sort of volume behind it. And if it just kind of just bumps up, then that's great. I mean, I'm already down like 80-something% probably on my Tilray shares. I've stopped looking at these shares, and maybe we should get back into some and average down.
Yeah, I think, I don't even know what happened to them. They might have been deleted or something. I still have some Hexo.
Yeah, that's deleted.
Yeah. So that's
a 0.
Gone to the wind.
That's a hex 0.
Yeah, hex 0. But yeah, Tilray. We talked about Tilray yesterday, right? We were like, this is a significant change in terms of the class scheduling of the drug, and it was just like a bit of we're kind of waiting for that to kind of happen, right? So we talked about that it might catch a bid in the coming days, and look at what happens today, right? You have that initial pop, you kind of consolidate, bid back down, about a 50% retracement of yesterday's action, and then today's pre-market, you kind of hold and you wick off of those levels around 270, and you are catching a bit of a bid with this uptrend. Take a look at these higher lows forming and building into this 310 area just above that $3 level. So yeah, I think that's a decent look. We've kind of have that idea playing out in front of us. It is catching a bit of a bid on a multi-day. Let's see if we can kind of push, looking left, this high from before at 316, right? If we can kind of push that level, we can pull back to the day chart and see where we can go next. Where is the next stop? The next stop, if we break this 310 area, is definitely up here in the 320s, and the significant high up here at 360, both acted as support and resistance. So next key level there. If we can get that expanding volume and catch a bid on this, I think those prices are definitely within range.
I don't, in a second, Fabian. I don't know what's going on with Mike Crehan here. I'm trading, shout out to you, Mike. Oh yeah, by the way, I know Mike's a shoe guy. We are wearing, right now, once again, we finally got our Yeezys in there, Mike. So shout out to Mike. Mike sent me some really sick Air Force Ones, the Dunks. So shout out to that. But right here, I just saw you. What are you saying here, Mike? He's saying, I'm trading my whole life savings. Don't do that. What do you think, Sean? LOL. Great days at the beginning of the show. Thank you so much. Yeah, do not do that, Mike, for sure. Do not trade away your whole life savings because your life will disappear really quickly or be really enhanced. But it's not all about money, Obi. You know, you got to have some of that security. You got to have peace of mind. And yeah, that would drive me nuts if I had that much money on the line. We're trading prop here, so everything that I'm throwing back and forth really ain't my money, nor yours, Obi. So it's all good on that side. But shout out to Mike Crehan, my good friend. If you want to be a little more specific, please put that in the chat and I'll try to address it.
Nice.
Guys,
This is happening right now. So forget about the weekend. It's already Labor Day around here. You can still get 30% off. If you haven't done so, go right now, do that. Trader TV 30 gets you 30% off and will get you 30% off until the end of Labor Day. So shout out to Trade Ideas.
All right, yeah, definitely pick that up there. Shout out to our boys, or our friends, I guess, at Trade Ideas. Shout out to the man himself, of course. Everybody knows him and everybody loves him. That is Michael Noss.
Boss.
The boss of the Noss, Michael Noss. Okay, yeah, let's just keep the show going here and not get carried away too much. All right, so
taking a look at this
yeah,
one?
go ahead, buddy.
That ICCT from yesterday. We're going to take a look at that. Yeah, we saw what it did yesterday on that pop. We talked about it this morning. A bit of a squeeze that happened overnight. Yeah, definitely shorts got a little bit squeezed, and yeah, it was almost telling where it kind of had that trapping action we talked about. But now today, it's had somewhat of a clean fade off after that exhaustive move there. So yeah, if you got in on this 20s double top that happened, that kind of formed there, that was pretty great. Now I hadn't really taken a look at it, but I am taking a look at it now. And again, all of this is in retrospect, of course. But you have an exhaustive top, we saw that, and then the pre-market trend is back towards the downside. You get kind of like this double top here, and then you also crack. Once you do that, you also crack both the pre-market low and this initial low down here, right? So it's been a decent fader off of that, kind of back to these levels of consolidation from yesterday's close before it started that squeeze. So it'd be interesting to see what it does in and around here, that closing price from yesterday, or maybe even this consolidation that kind of started to rip it back up down here at the 8. I have the 8 kind of marked, and then as well as this really tight consolidation before the close here at around $11. So we're almost right there. Let's see what it does back down here. Maybe a potential bounce, because that buying pressure definitely came in after the close at that price. ICCT.
I just want to give a shout out to Mira there in the chat, because you read my mind. I was actually just going to do that. Apple high of daybreak coming. Uh-oh, we wanted that yesterday late and we missed it. Here, Mira, the orange blues. Thoughts on when NVIDIA is going to retrace? Oh, under 450, I missed that spot. No thoughts on that one. Maybe never, to be honest with you. The thing about NVIDIA is it's actually cheap at these current levels. There's not too many names. I know it's going to be crazy to say that, but there's not too many names that have performed the way NVIDIA has here and continue to guide higher and continuing to look. I mean, the ecosystem that they've built for themselves as far as the software is concerned as well. It's not just the chips, right? It's the fact that developers have been building with NVIDIA for a very, very long time. And now they have that H1 chip that Google just upped their purchases for. That's going to be a big driver for them. AMD is going to release something this month in September. We'll see if they can sort of not combat, I mean, but sort of deal with sort of the pressures coming from NVIDIA. I just think you want to stay long this name, although I've only been short it. I thought that you said you want to know when's NVIDIA going to retrace. I had already hit this retracement very, very nicely there. And then we took another reload there, and I actually put the stop. I don't really know what I was doing because that's 419. Oh, well, I know what I was doing. I had a decent amount of shares, so we wanted to stop out slightly above VWAP. That's fine. But I should have put this order at 95. So that's the problem right there. So we took a short at 94. We got out at 94.50. We took the short at 94.25. We only gave this 25 cents because we did have some decent shares on. Kind of the same play that we made here against VWAP that worked, right? So I just tried to rinse and repeat it. You could see I like this trade so much I put on 3 times there to the downside, but for right there, that was, we got stopped out before it just dropped back in again. So I do have an offer. I'm going to cancel these offers. Let's let it get up here and then see what the NASDAQ is doing because that's the safer play for me right there on NVIDIA. So I do still think that 495 is an area. We sort of hit that area earlier as support, and now we're going to turn it into resistance. I did want to talk about Palantir a little bit because we just got, as you guys saw, when we came up here to 15, we were just taking these out. So right now we have about 20% or so left of our 80s. So we didn't get those 60s. I wish we did. We were 3 cents away from getting the 60s there. It went to 64. We were at 61. We missed that fill. But anyways, Palantir right now coming back into, again, some possibly key levels right there. Tilray continues to be, wow, pretty awesome right there. 304. We just took another piece out of Tilray. I mean, I wish this name was moving a little bit more. Did that name open up yet? ADTX. I stopped looking.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
what?
No, I'm just saying, wow.
What was so impressive?
Look at what it did.
Did somebody say that might have happened?
I think somebody might have mentioned that might happen.
Yeah. I mean, again, now the tap is $33. So, again, 2 trades ago, we were at $66. We quadunked. Don't put that graphic. All the way down to 47, and then people were like, oh, shoot. 43, people panicked to get out on. Hopefully you guys did. Now, if you did not get out at 43, you are now going to have to get out at 33. So again, like even 100 shares, man, down $30. It's a tough trade, man. It's a tough trade, and that's why I say this because, again, it's experience and that's great and everything like that, right? But it's like you guys know this game, and that's why I said to my guy Stan O over there that sure I'm jealous that this move happened, but I would really be like, in an uncomfortable situation, if I could say it as mildly as possible, if I was long basically anywhere up here, just fearing this. And it's not, you never want to be fearful when you're trading, so fear is kind of the wrong word, but when you're stuck in a halt, you really, for me, I've been trained as risk managing. So we always talk about that, and that's why I try to stay away from these names because you can't manage this. $33, like that's just not in the cards for me to say that this stock in 2 trades is going to be down 100% or 50% from its highs. So I just, that's what's happening right now. I just hope that everybody's safe out there. Not only do I hope they're safe, I hope they're short. So I don't know how you found shares to borrow for that, but maybe you did. That's ADTX. So yeah, that's a wow right there, Obi.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's crazy. I think you called it out there at the same time when you were like, okay, this is the first time the tap is actually significantly lower,
yeah.
right? So that can be a tell as well, right? But like, how do you really execute the short once it's already halted up like that? You know what I mean? But
well, you can't even borrow the shares.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't. I don't know.
Well, clearly someone did. Right, so I feel like someone did, and sure, it could be like just the buying pressure, but
good job,
if you're
Bears versus Bulls.
if you're shorting that, yeah, I saw that as well.
Someone's talking about,
bit of
hey,
a
what's up,
spamming
Zoltan? Yeah, someone's spanning all the, hey, put it up, man. We have an after, I guess Frank is what, I don't hear anything in my ear if you're calling for me with Frank. So, okay, I just want to say, yeah, we do have a big earnings report, bunch of names coming today. I got to shout out Sharif because he made this way easier for me just by showing me. I've known Market Chameleon for years, and we used to use it on the pre-market scanners because they have have great pre-market scanners. There's no doubt about that. And I just sort by market cap. We've got the biggest and the baddest, like Broadcom's a $400 billion name. So this is not fooling around. Again, it's a $1,000 name as well coming out. What the hell is that, Sharif? Man, you're not messing around. This guy's got tripods now and
he's
shit.
like, oh, it's got the light and everything. Wow.
Jeez, man, was it my
Fancy.
wife over there? This guy's got everything. We have one of those in my house, actually, because she's doing all that stuff. We actually had a great night last night, man. We went to Spring Sushi. Which,
he looks like a kid building a toy. You know, his first Lego. He's super.
Wow.
Look at the happiness. Look at
he's
we gotta
loving
capture
it, man.
that
He's loving
emotion.
it now. As if he's not beautiful enough, now we get to see exactly how beautiful he is. But okay. Back over to my screen here as we talk. All right, so NVIDIA's making the move back up. That's all good, baby. Right there, Broadcom, big name today. UBS, look, I like UBS. I'm not going to be focusing. Actually, they already reported, didn't they? I don't think that's right. VMware coming, Lululemon coming, Dell coming, some sort of country called Canada has some banks reporting as well. A Dollar Tree's going through. And then we have MongoDB. I think Canada is a little north of the US. I'm not sure exactly where it is. North America. So I'm not sure if we are in the same area as that. Somewhere near Alaska, I believe. But anyways, MongoDB, a good one. Campbell Soup, a couple different names coming through. But of course, we are located in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So shout out to all of our Canadian friends there. And talk about a Canadian name today. You'd have to be mistaken without looking at Shopify. That name was ripping up there early today. And look at Shopify. This was a name that was brought to you out of nowhere today on the Amazon News. It based out there early. And the rest is history as you're taking out 66. For me, man, 68 incoming. Beautiful handle and said cup. That's Shopify. Nice move there today on that name as you're starting to really get up. It's not now forget about the cup and handle, man. You're going to form like a thermos out on here as you get going on Shopify. Yeah, I'll be here all day. But who's not here all day that we got to hurry up is Frank Caberna. Let's go to the big desk.
He's a busy guy. Frank Caberna is Director of Strategy over at IG.com. No, he's not. IG.com over in Chicago. Back with us to kind of dissect what has happened today and then have a look at what is to come tomorrow. Because guess what? Yeah, more important data on the way, 8:30 Eastern tomorrow morning, Frank. Tell us a little bit about this PCE reading first and the jobs data to come, obviously. But I mean, everyone thought it was fine. Everyone said inflation's fine, it's over, it's behind us. But this report this morning had other plans today.
Yeah, classic zigzag effect that we've been getting a lot of recently, where we have the soft job openings to start the week, and then we have today, it feels like yesterday's PCE data coming in higher than, maybe not higher than expected, but I think higher than we thought as of yesterday. Because starting the week out, Brendan, inflation down, at least from this softest job openings number since March of 2021, much lower than expected. And I think that set the table for, you saw the softness in U.S. rates, you saw the softness in U.S. dollar, you saw stocks rally, NASDAQ was up 2% off of that information. And I think everybody thought that this PCE number was going to come in lower than at least what was expected at 4.2%, but probably around 4.1% where we were last month, and maybe even the first time down into the 3 handle for the last year. Didn't get that, got the zigzag effect that, like I say, we've been hitting several times over the course of the last few months, a number leading to inflation being lower, right in front of a number leading to inflation being higher. The market took this as a reason to rally U.S. dollar, rally U.S. rates, and a little bit of a sell-off in stocks. But now bringing a lot of markets back to even on the day. U.S. dollars lost some of its shine from this morning. U.S. rates are actually back lower now on the day, and stocks have kind of discarded this information completely as we head into what might be essentially a rubber match tomorrow with non-farm payrolls.
Let's touch on that. Before we do, actually, I wanted to get into this PCE a little bit more because, as everyone's well aware by now, this is the number that Fed Chair Powell keeps going back to and pointing to and saying, see, it's not good yet. It's not good yet. Was there, from what you saw, a specific area maybe that was still standing out as the problem here in this report?
No, diving deeper on the report, I didn't see anything stand out. You are a much better judge of the detail of these things. So, I mean, I'd love to get your call on it. But the headline number being 4.2% still was, in my mind, a reason for at least, Brendan, rates to gain back what they had lost earlier in the week, and U.S. dollar to gain back what it lost earlier in the week. Maybe not necessarily a reason for stocks to sell off, but I would have thought we would have gotten that. And we did a little bit in the knee-jerk reaction, but it's funny to me that the JOLTS job opening number has kind of gained prominence this week over, like you say, Fed Chair Powell's most beloved number here, but maybe it wasn't that important of a 4.2 reading here. I mean, was there anything that caught your eye? Obviously, the market kind of discarded it.
Yeah, and you read my mind, and that's exactly where I wanted to go with this, in the sense that, does this even matter anymore? Honestly, like, it seems like we're really nitpicking at this point when it comes to every single piece of data as we head towards what could be the next rate pause, it would seem at this point. And we'll get to that in a second. But my bigger point, and to answer your question from earlier, no, not really. I mean, it was just flat. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. It was just flat across the board. Nothing really changed. Nothing really stood out as far as individual aspects of that. Looking ahead then to what is to come tomorrow, after we got that print last time around, if we rewind the clock, very, very low on the NFP number going back to, this was July then. If we're looking at August this time tomorrow, what do we expect? What should we be looking for here?
Yeah, they're looking for a number to come in around 170. And I would feel like, given the fact that the job openings number on Tuesday came in so low and the market digested that to such a great extent. Again, of course, stuff is going on in the stock market. There's individual stories around every single stock that makes up the S&P 500 and other major indices. But it feels worth reiterating that you saw a 2% move higher in the NASDAQ in the same day as this softest job opening number going back to early 2021, 2 years plus. And so this is all to say that the market, it feels like it's priced in the under on 170, Brendan. And I think if we get anything in the 150 to 170 range, it feels like the market will probably not bat an eye at that, because, and just to go through the motion really quickly, that a lower than expected number on non-farm payrolls right now, given the context of high inflation, would normally be viewed as bullish for stocks, bearish for rates. But it feels like we've already priced in the under on 170. Now, if this number comes in, near 140, 130, 120, it's a really big miss. Then you might see U.S. rates and dollars fall and stocks run up again, put in, even further upside off of the job opening numbers earlier. And then a soft non-farm here might really be cause for, like, hey, Fed Chair Powell does not need to go any higher in rates if we're really slowing down this quickly in the job market, which is now being digested as an inflation number pretty much. But to the flip side of that point, it feels like if this number comes in even at like 175 or 180, you might see all of these different parts of the economy unravel the action that we saw earlier in the week. Does it feel like to you that they've priced in a little bit of this under on the 170 expectation coming into the week?
Yeah, over the past couple of days even, absolutely. And I mean, we'll see obviously tomorrow what the actual number is, but it's not only pricing in. I think people are almost assuming at this point that this is what is coming. And I was even saying to Sharif early on this morning that we've had, a couple of prints in a row here, job related this week, that indicated that. And then here's PCE this morning that, it was flat, but everyone was expecting, I think, that PCE number to also be in that same direction. And let's be honest, it wasn't. Let's talk USD here for a little bit. We saw a couple of days worth of a pullback here and now on this. Tell us what's happening as far as the rest of the landscape here versus the euro, versus some of the other currencies.
Yeah, still seeing a lot of price action in the Forex and interest rate space. Stocks, I think to your point earlier, Brendan, stocks seem a little disinterested in inflation data and job data at the moment. But yeah, a huge zigzag effect for US dollar versus the euro off of all this job data and PCE data that came through. And it's just crazy to me how quickly we price in and price out a lot of this, inflation is over with, inflation is back on the rise. Euro rallied all the way from below 108 to back above 109, over 100 pip rally off of the soft job opening number. And then PCE comes in line, but like you and I were just talking about, people pricing in maybe the under on that. And so it coming in line was a big bullish number for this US dollar, as now it's resurging again against the major European currencies. But something that I thought was interesting, looking at the price action against the yen, and this has been a really interesting one for me, especially taking out the interest rate part of the equation, because Japan hasn't moved interest rates this whole time, whereas the US and the Euro area and the US and the UK are obviously battling as they raise interest rates off of this inflation data and job numbers and everything that we're talking about here. Interesting to me to see the US dollar turn around against that yen off of the soft job openings number, and then continue lower actually today, even though PCE came in line, which might have been viewed as a bullish USD number. We'll see if US dollar has put in its highs here. Like I say, I like comparing it against this yen because they aren't moving interest rates. It's, for me, a better tell right now of just the relative strength or weakness of US dollar in general. And you can see putting in year-to-date highs right on that soft job openings number, reversing course, and now continuing lower. I'm really going to be watching to see if US dollar is done with its bullish trend of the last couple of weeks here, and maybe heads lower against most of these major pairs. Really interesting to me to see it down on that number and then down on PCE. And we'll see with non-farm tomorrow if that trend lower in USD continues.
Yeah, for sure. Should be an interesting one. Couple weeks out, then CPI, the next kind of pit stop, I guess, if you want to call it that, as far as the inflation train is concerned. Is there going to be, in your opinion, as much attention paid at this point? We've seen over the past couple of months that there really hasn't when it comes to the overall inflation print, as long as we're in the neighborhood here. So I was just double checking. 13th CPI, 20th then the following Wednesday is when we hear from Fed Chair Powell once again. I mean, the CME Fed Funds Tool 88 and change, indicating that they're going to pause here coming up in September.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that the data would kind of point you in the direction of they're done with interest rate hikes and they don't need to go any higher and X, Y, and Z. But we forget, Brendan, that inflation has been moving lower for the last several months, for pretty much the last year here, given its highs of last summer, fall area. And they've been hiking interest rates higher and higher every month or two. So I think the question becomes, if not necessarily inflation ticks higher again, but if inflation just doesn't tick lower in the next core CPI reading or in the next PCE reading a month from now, if we're still hanging in the low to mid fours, it seems like Powell does want to bring interest rates higher to just get rid of the stickiness, not necessarily an inflation resurgence. So I think it is still very valuable to the interest rate environment and the Forex environment. Stocks seem to be back into their own mode now, which for better or worse, they're less correlated to inflation right now. But I mean, it was interesting. They've started to price out this September chance of a hike. To your point, it's now down around 10%. It was around 20% about a week ago before the soft data that we got this week. But they didn't price out the chance of a hike for the rest of the year as much as I thought. Those odds have been hanging around 50-50 of one more interest rate hike in 2023. So I don't think it's necessarily off the table. And though we might not get inflation prints back up at 6, 7, 8%, if it hangs around 4% and is just sticky there, we might see higher rates this year and potentially next year, even though they're pricing in lower rates. So the inflation piece still essential in my mind for the future path of interest rates and Forex, and can still have a lot of volatility to it, even if it's not making new highs.
Hawkish pause maybe again to come then coming up in September before maybe another hike to the upside before the end of the year. Frank Burnett, Director of Strategy over at IG.com in Chicago. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Brendan.
Oh man, yeah, tomorrow obviously big day. Tomorrow we'll see what's coming out with those numbers. Yeah, we are kind of actively trading there. We have a couple new positions on. We have SoFi. Thanks again, Frank, for all that, man. We've got SoFi on board right now, which is a new one. This ADTX just halted again. Look at the ADTX's bottom there, $27 from just being up to 67, now down to 27. And we've got NVIDIA on board right now. So shout out to Mira and everything in the chat. We tried the short first. We got blasted out. Then we went short again. Took about $1. Now we're back short again on the reload. Coming back, and we just touched 70 cents there. This is going to be a difficult one, and I put in the chat as well to Mira, just because I know she's trading and everybody else. If we take out that 50 level, which we almost did there on NVIDIA, then I am out. So I'm not trying to, like I said, set this world on fire or anything with any kind of trades here. So if that does come out, then we will step aside on NVDA, right? And so let's see if we get a pullback down. We're short right now at O's at 95. So if we can get 50 cents, if we're going to take 50 cents worth of risk, we'll do that. That's right where VWAP is sort of anyways. So, you know, some good possibilities here for that. All right, SoFi, we're just short right now. We just got it. Well, we took a little piece there, but we took much more now. So our average price is 72.5 against this 77. Why do we like this one, Sean? Well, again, I was just sort of data mining for opportunities that I think pan out well for that strategy that I have. And that is support and resistance, getting back to levels that had held before, watching the market. I did think when I started this position on SoFi, I actually did think the market was going to turn there and hit VWAP back down to the downside. This is the initial balance high. This is the initial balance low. So we're right in the middle of that. But we're under the 50 period, and we were starting to head to VWAP. So I wanted to get ahead of this SoFi trade. Sometimes when you think you're smarter, it can backfire, but I like this trade against this 77 area. So that high is 76, just give it another penny. Let's see if SoFi can retrace back down, right? If we can get 10 cents, that's worth it. This is about a 5-cent trade right now. It's nothing overly sexy, I understand that, but that's what we're trying to do with SoFi, trying to get that to go back in. Same old talk here. Palantir, we got some out. We just took another piece out because it's coming back. And then Tilray. This one kind of sucks for me because once it broke $3, I did take some pieces out right there on Tilray. It broke below the 50 period, so the 50 period's $3. So we actually got $3 pretty much, although that says $299.99.96. So I think that's a half print right there, but Tilray still coming back there. All right, here we go. NVIDIA just went in, and we could have taken, I don't know why we didn't get filled there at 50s. Well, I know why. We're bidding 55. Again, went to 58. This may come out. So everybody that's looking at an NVIDIA trade right now, that's my stop. The spread here is 10+ cents sometimes when it opens up. Right now you got 19 and 33s. Despite what it says here, these are the odd lots that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for like 10 share fills or anything like that. So hopefully we can get back down in here for NVIDIA. But if the market, and I sort of said this to Obi over here, that it's kind of like like you're kind of a slave to the market when you're trading some of these names. I mean, we can look at different names like the PUP, right? Isn't it PUP.am? Do we not have that in the system? No, oh, UUP, PUP. UUP here, the dollar is something that we could also look at, but again, not much volume on this. That's like the DXY, we could look at that. You can look at the TLT, of course, for the 20-year Treasury to see how that's moving. Again, we just had Frank on talking all about that. So if this starts to go back up to the upside, again, not great move there for equities, but we'll see what's gonna happen with this name. So there are a few different things that you can look at that can give you an idea of where the market's potentially going as well. So yeah, there's a couple looks on what I'm holding right now. SoFi is my newest position, so this is really what I have the most shares in right now, but most shares doesn't matter because it's kind of a sleepy trade. The one that I'd really prefer to work out is NVIDIA, but again, just keeps on resisting. So I feel like this name may want to go to the downside. Advanced Micro, no, not Advanced Micro. We want to look at Intel. Intel had that big bump up. You talked about it with automation, with cars. Is that what it was?
No, I thought that might have been what it was, but I wasn't able to find any news on it.
I don't know what that was.
Pop. I don't know if anything new came out on Intel, but yeah, I can talk about that. Intel out of nowhere has like a huge volume pop. I couldn't find any news on it right away. Maybe something came up. Okay, so here we go. Intel pops as CEO says above the midpoint for Q3 guidance. So that's what that news was. So just the CEO coming out and speaking on the upcoming guidance for Q3 brings in that volume. I found it in and around this consolidation. I was watching it hold the 35 area, but couldn't really get past this 35.50. And then you kind of, after the hold, you kind of start to bid up. So I started watching it again. And yeah, it kind of wick fills this top from before. Can't really get too far. But here's the thing. It's being held on VWAP off of the CEO's statements, right? So I think that might be a decent look. Just in and around that VWAP, we can see that it's like wicking off of this $35 price, and it's holding. So yeah, going forward, let's see how this goes. Now I don't know when Intel has their next earnings, but they did have them just last month, right, in July. So yeah, next earnings all the way in October, right? So. Still some time for that Q3 data to come out.
I got to give. We always do roll call. We always talk about key members of our audience and things like that. I got to give a big shout out to Comp SRX1 here because in the chat, and again, you got to subscribe to the chat if you want to be part of this bad boy. He mentioned right here. NVIDIA possibly, yeah, you're getting out there. Okay, there it is, Comp SRX1. Thank you. I mean, I gave you credit in the chat. I'm going to give you credit live right now as well. Where was it right here? Yeah, NVIDIA on volume to hype for AVGO. So Broadcom obviously is a global technology company as well as NVIDIA that's all in semiconductors and everything like that. And they're coming tonight. So I could see that if they beat out, or they can severely beat their numbers, which they could do that there again. NVIDIA probably doesn't even open up down here, probably opens up much south or at least near that $5 bill mark, which is only $5 from here. So I am a little bit nervous about that. So shout out to Mira and everybody else that is shorting this. What up, Sniper? Oh, me, Sniper. Yeah, what's up, JB? Glad you're here as well. But yeah, no, I would think that Broadcom there could be something about that. So you are 100% right. I'm going to stay away from NVIDIA now. There's no point, and I'm not going to look at something that could have another reason behind it. And that's why I said to Obi that if I could sort of start my career all over again, and we could do this, but then it might not be that fun for the show, I would probably, this is the advice I probably would give new traders is, I would maybe just focus on the futures because we sit here and we talk about like why stocks are moving around. The futures really don't give a damn about individual names. And sometimes you'll get stopped out for certain things even though you don't really mind what the market is doing, right? We've had Arun on the show before and you could see the patience in him there with futures. And I think it's like you're just more patient on waiting for something to develop. So I don't know. I just feel that when I'm trading that NVIDIA and I see reasons like that, it's moving in sort of relation to or in sympathies with other names, that is a hard thing about trading sometimes, because you got to look at everything. I like doing that, and I think I'm doing pretty fine doing it, but I think the futures does have its values there, because even if you master the NQs or the ES, I was telling you, then you can go over to oil or any other kind of names there that you may be interested in. So yeah, that's something that I was thinking about there. But yeah, SoFi is getting up to the upside there. Tilray now trying to go back, which is really nice. AMC still 10 cents in the money, but we don't have many shares there. And then there goes Palantir again. So it's like, instead of me just scalping out pennies, and people have told me this in the chat, it's like that I should just switch over to options, like smaller, days, maybe not same day options, but weeklies or something like that to try to play off some of these levels. Wowee, there it goes, man. And what did we put?
Market.
Yeah, there goes the market. So there goes what name?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Apple. Apple right now back to 190. Sheesh, man. Sharif looking pretty on that with those pictures there, but also looking pretty on some of those dip buys that we had. I didn't get into any more Apple, but wow. Great movement up there for Apple, up now 0.62, again stronger than the market. And what just happened right now, that's probably the trade we should have had. Breaking that day high of 188.75. There goes Apple, guys.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing that you mentioned, and that's part of kind of what I'm trying to do as well, is like kind of learn how the market moves as like a machine, right? You have all of these constituents, and then you have these overall futures that don't really they kind of mute down some of those constituent moves. But like on days where like some of those market leaders like Apple, Microsoft, and sometimes even Nvidia, right, kind of pull some of these futures around, right? So that's part of what I'm doing, because I think Sean said this earlier as well. The market's going to be here forever. Right? These few, like, well, maybe not forever, but like it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Maybe forever.
So
forever?
That's something I'm trying to learn. And obviously, it's not the easiest thing to do, and it's not really like it's going to take some time. But yeah, definitely not. Just not easy to do, but definitely a decent goal to have, and that's kind of one of my goals, is just understanding how some of these futures move with respect to their constituents, because the constituents will come and go, but the futures, I think they're going to stick around as well. The S&P 500, there's tickers that come in and out of it. It's almost poised, it's almost rigged to continue going up over time, because you kick out it's the S&P 500, so the top performing 500 tickers in the market, right? So if there's a ticker that's not really performing, what do they do to it? It gets kicked off. And anything that's a leading upcoming technology and they're making money, it's brand new, it gets added onto it. So that ETF itself is pretty much rigged to kind of have positive and growth tickers inside of it over time. Now, if you, I don't know if you remember it, but well, I'm sure you remember it. GE used to be top of the markets at one point, right? And Yahoo was up there as well. Where are they now, right? There are still players who are like, oh yeah, GE long, GE is going to come back. But yeah, no, I don't know about that.
GE had a great year, dude. Really great year.
I mean, GE's doing well, but they're not at the top of the markets anymore. They don't move the markets like they used to, right? So it's like those constituents, that they will come and go. But yeah, how constituents move the markets with respect to their micro moves and how that translates into the macro move onto the market. That's something I'm trying to understand. But yeah, I have no idea. I see a lot of fugays, and I'm trying to understand it. But yeah, you gotta. That's where I come up with it. You gotta embody the fugays before plunging into it. So I'm in that phase of embodying the fugays.
Okay, good man. Yeah, so embody the fugays apparently is what we're doing around here. So that's a good job there, Obi. Thanks for that. And no, in all jokes aside, but that is what it's about, right? It's about figuring out where you best fit and playing the market and playing your trades accordingly, because there's nothing else to do other than that, right? All right, so there goes NVIDIA again. We can still just keep talking about the market. There it goes. It took out 496, so we stayed away from it. Whether or not you're giving this a little bit more room or not, if you're giving this room, you might as well at this point. And I don't want people to be digging into anything, but the high is 497, so you're getting pretty close to that at this point. So it wouldn't be. I'm not saying this would be a horrible idea, whatever way you decide to go with this, but still nice little move to the downside right here happening upside here in NVIDIA. So pay attention to that. I was just looking at SoFi. Oh, what I was hitting keys on was Tilray. It went to 05 again and stopped, so we punched out a little bit there more at 04. This is part of what I'm doing. Like I want to hold, and this is why, like, when it comes down to it, like, why am I always getting out? I mean, this is what scalping is all about for me. Make sure you get the right plays at the right time, and that's what it is. Wasn't NVIDIA 515 last week, says Jose Nunez. Yes, it was, my friend. But that was right there, that's earnings high. So we're actually closing at all-time highs, even now. If it's going to be an update today, you have to look at the last couple of days where, the closing levels on this day. So it actually didn't close. I don't know why we have 513 as the high there. But if you're looking at other charts, they won't chart the high until the close. So we do have an intraday high of 5. The intraday high was yesterday, so 492.50 or something was the best close it's ever had. So we'll see if that's, I believe that's true anyways. I'm not sure where it closed on earnings, but I think it closed lower, gapped up into that 515, and then that's been its best day since then. So that's what's happening right there on that name. You mentioned Google. Google's been a monster for me today, but not as many shares as we should have had because that came in the pre-market. So this actually filled in the pre-market there on Google. We got 36s, it ripped all the way up. We got 37.07 there, putting that in the dollar club. Then when it broke back down below this level right here of 50s, we wound up getting out, which was turned out pretty good. It did resist view up and tanked back to 36. And again, where was I when that happened? I think this is when I was getting Sharif for his, because he got tickets to the film festival. And I think I must have missed that trade. That's too bad because that did come into 136 again. We should have reloaded that one there as well. We talk about this all the time. You don't need to be trading, and I don't mind the terms like cash as a position because it's not a position. Yeah. It's just right now I feel like that might be one of the better positions you could be in. It's 316.
Yeah.
So shout out to Stone Cold and whatnot out there. Oh, by the way, Brendo's over there. I don't know. I know he's a busy guy, but what's up with this? Was there WWE earnings? Because WWE took a quad tank right there today, all the way back in. Look at this, big middle finger reversed, right down here to $95. So I'm gonna actually, you know what? I can just. Brendan's a busy guy. Let me just check out here. What keeps happening to my trade ideas thing? Like I don't even close it. It's gone again. I was looking at Broadcom there. But anyways, we'll have to find out what's going on with the news here. Oh, here it is, right there. Okay, let's go to Brendo quickly though.
There was this note, guys, from this morning actually for Endeavor Group, which is the UFC. So WWE shares lower on Saudi investment into the MMA competitor instead. So that was Endeavor more, not necessarily WWE, but a related story.
Okay, well, that would make sense on that one there. But yeah, nice move to the downside here for WWE. I like, again, do your own work, see how that story does affect this name. But you're right back into $95 again. WWE, a nice little name. I just wanted to look it up here. This is what I was looking for, the trade details window. So WWE, only one symbol like that. I wanted to see, are they still paying a dividend? They used to. Oh, I used to have dividend on here, and I don't anymore. I believe they're a dividend payer, so they could have got rid of that. I know they've restructured a little bit there. I'm going to find out what the dividend situation is on WWE. All my windows have closed again here. So, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to buy a name like this on this move because they pay a dividend. But nice move to the downside there for WWE today. Congratulations, anybody got that one in their book right now. Broadcom again. We're going to be talking. We have Danielle Shea. Oh, what a great day that was yesterday with Creda coming through on this show.
Very, very educational.
That was very, very educational. Yeah, we did have Chris Brecher as well. That gave us some great trade ideas. Today, I've already talked to Danielle Shea. She does want to go over the earnings. Okay. So she's going to have some plays for us on Broadcom and some plays for us on Mongo. She wants to talk about MDB. So MongoDB as well. Again, these are names that, if you're interested in these names, MongoDB, a $400 name, AVGO, a $1,000 name. Well, it's $950, probably going to break $1,000 in the aftermarket. But she wants to talk all about these as well. And look at this, man, definitely forming up on MongoDB there. Nice little pattern happening. If we can go to the screen, Fabian, if you got a second. Breaking above the 50 period and now trying to break out again. MongoDB, you like this name? You could get back up into here, man, 420. Today, 428, 430, that high of 440. That would be a big move, but MongoDB, in the right space at the right time. Let's see if this name can't get going today as well for traders. So she wants to talk about that. We have Miss Danielle Shea coming at 4:15 today for the after show. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. And yeah, any other trade ideas? Unfortunately, SoFi is doing nothing.
We were talking about this name a couple days ago, and I didn't realize I wasn't really logged in to this trading view here. And as soon as I did, look at this alert that kind of popped up here. We had put that in a few days ago, so let's check this out. What happened today? We know that we were looking at that 106. I know you might have mentioned it a little bit earlier today, but we were watching that 106 a few days ago. I think it was post earnings, right? Post earnings, we were watching that 106. We saw that this move kind of happened, and that 106 never really came in. You kind of wick hide that, or I think it was off the news, right, or something like that. But yeah, no, 106 came in, didn't really give us a chance to get long above it, but it was a great short. And then you come in yesterday, kind of a couple of days ago, consolidated above, breakdown back below, and yeah, we kind of set that alert at 107s for a reason, I think. Just check on the weekly right here, take off the VWAP right there. Yeah, take a look, looking left, right? Okay, maybe it wasn't on here. Yeah, okay, so this consolidation from before, right? We've had tops from there, but the consolidations from before, it's 107 kind of key area. So it's stepping up as of right now is what I'm trying to say, is we were looking for that 106 to break. The 106 kind of did an over-under, and then now we kind of pop back above, and we're holding above some of these highs that we've made in the past. So yeah, 106 might be something, this 3M incoming now. I saw people in the chat talking about Amazon as well. Amazon, they were saying how they were short Amazon, but yeah, I don't really necessarily see a short on Amazon right now. It was definitely a long. The short was over here where we kind of remember when we chased this level, kind of broke that trend here, and then we start to sell off off of that trend break, right? And then I think I remember in the chat too that 137. Some people were interested in that 137. That's interesting. It comes back down right here into that 137 and can't even break below the 90s. The 137, a great place to get long, and then also a previous level as well. So, but yeah, off of that kind of break, we look at that. We break that downtrend as well. So it's a day of trends. It would seem on Amazon here, very tight in the morning, and then once that breaks, you start to kind of grind to the downside, and then once that breaks, you have kind of like this trend kind of going there. So yeah, a little bit of trend following going on Amazon. As soon as that breaks, the other trend kind of seems to take over. That's what's been happening all of today. So yeah, I didn't really see the short when that was kind of called out. It's definitely not really looking like a short right over here or over here as was mentioned in the chat. But yeah, Sean's saying look at Apple. Yeah, Apple all the way up. So exactly, take a look at this. I would not take a short on Amazon right now, as Apple is screaming to the upside in power hour, right? We've got about 40 minutes left to go. I'm waiting for some of these imbalances to come in. I'm waiting for the next trade. I don't really see anything right now going into the close. Yeah, sure. If you had longs off of some of these breaks, we talked about the trends as well on Amazon, and then Microsoft, we can take a look as well. Microsoft kind of has that overall trend down off that 330 level. We were talking about how that 330 was kind of key, and we're holding above some of these hourly prices on Microsoft. That 330 couldn't really get through yesterday. Come in today, pops up. Can't even get to 331, fails back below lower high underneath 330, and then just fails to the downside. So yeah, Microsoft looking a little bit different. Now, something I wanted to note as well, the discrepancy between the ES and the NQ today. Take a look at how the NQ is distinctly uptrending, right? This is this is pretty clean here from about 3 a.m. So part of the Globex session kind of trend coming into play on the Nasdaq. But take a look at the ES. The ES is totally opposite, kind of more of a downtrend off of some of these morning levels here. On the ES, so that's pretty interesting to see. So I kind of tried to pull up the map here, but I think Invis was down earlier today.
Oh, was it? Yeah, okay, because that was what I was looking
Okay,
for.
all right. So yeah, here we can take a look at this map here. So yeah, a lot of the tech is very green, right? Other than Microsoft, of course, we just talked about that. Apple, Nvidia, Google, Meta, Tesla, Walmart. Walmart, not so much the tech name, but yeah, a lot of these greens in the tech sector. But yeah, everything else pretty much that's not really a main focus of the NQ. Looking a little bit red, and definitely part more of the ES here, as the S&P looks very similar as well. But yeah, 137, kind of key. It's coming in, so I'll be watching. I'm still waiting. Hands sitting on my hands for now, as you guys know, waiting for the next trade, right?
I don't think you're wrong with that for right now. What's up to my good friend Nimit there? He's stuck on ICCT, he mentioned, and wanted me to have a quick look at it. I mean, you said you mentioned in the chat, I mean, I don't normally call out prices unless you say it, but you said you're stuck at 16 bucks on this name. It doesn't matter what your price is. It matters about obviously where the stock is going. So right there, I mean, I was looking at this. You know, yesterday afternoon, we really did hold this $10 level. Here's the RSI all the way down on this move below. So it just got blown out through. I mean, normally I like to maybe buy dips when we're at RSI 25 right now. And you just got down to 14 and change. So that was definitely a blowout bottom there, down at 10 bucks. Now you're starting to get back up to the upside. To me, I think, look at this 50 period, Nimit. It's just basically watching it the whole way. Sure, we get some breaks early. That's probably where you're stuck. But it hasn't gotten back up to that level. So I think like a 13 out, you know, get $3, take $3 out, and like just say, you know what, that's a losing trade. We'll get it next time. I think if you can get back up to 13, that's probably really good. You have VWAP right now at 16, so that's where your price is. You could get 13s. I mean, you're only at 11 right now, so I don't think it's the end of the world to think that a 13 would come in there. So whether or not you take out all your shares or half your shares or whatever, I kind of like that level there. So that would be something that I would do right now. And again, I don't know. This is just advice for what it looks like on the chart. I mean, yesterday we saw, yesterday we saw in the aftermarket, I meant to show you this as well, this, $42. So there was the move there that happened real late, man. So we close at these levels, and then the aftermarket bumps all the way back up. So you're starting to curl a little bit, but that was a good little hold there down to 10 bucks. There's no doubt about that. So you may want to reward yourself because you almost got stopped out if your stop was 10. So nice move back up there, Nimit, for you, but that's a risky one. Other than that, not much going on here. That
ADTX, I was just going to say, speaking of that 42 break, you know what just broke 42?
Well,
and,
now I do. Now
shout out to JK in the super chat for the $5 super chat. Says ADTX bought 1,000 shares at $19. I sold 500 at 55, and the others sold after the fall on the reopen at 31. 24K profit. Thanks for the heads up, Trader
24K?
TV. Wow, nice trade, man. If you had that trade down at 19 and then you unloaded in the 50s and then this down halt in the 30s, sick trade.
Yeah, and that's part of the game, right? Is part of figuring out where those taps are going to go, the up, the downs, everything like that. So that was an absolutely fantastic trade. And right now, although I know we're still on Obi's face, we are tapping up to 50 bucks right now after closing at 47. So just to give everyone an idea, this name could open back at 50. This is like, it's not that it's not trading. It definitely is trading. I mean, you just great numbers there being spit out on the chat. So congratulations on that, man. That's like 24 grand? Is that what you read?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you
got
in early, that's a 5-play trade.
Why can't I keep asking for those numbers, Fabian. Let me know what those are. I want to hit that. I think we could get it. Those are all Bitcoins floating around there, Fabian. So maybe if we could do something else about maybe some money sign, like hit it again. I want to see, aren't those all Bitcoins?
Congratulations!
Yeah, they're all Bitcoins. So, congratulations. Maybe take your profit in Bitcoin if you want. Yeah. But right there, good job there. ADTX right now, $50 is the new tap on that. So, so far so good there. Let's check out on Nvidia because again, it's doing absolutely nothing right here, right now. It's just kind of,
Speaking of Bitcoin,
what?
Have you seen what it's been doing today?
I have not.
Wow. Talk about a backside move. So we saw yesterday, or was it yesterday? It just feels like yesterday, right?
I hate
We
Coinbase,
saw on
by the way.
Tuesday that crazy pop. So yeah, definitely we're getting a backside move. Amara, Riot, MSTR, all those names, BTBT as well. We saw how we interacted with that 27.5, pushed up to the 28. Kind of consolidated, bled off, and now we literally retraced that whole move with today's volume here. Can't really get past that 27.5 on the pop out the open today. Re-break this consolidation. Look at this tight consolidation overnight and a little bit of yesterday as well. So yeah, that tight consolidation about, what is that? The highs being 27.3s. And then the lows being about 27. So about a 300 point consolidation, gets tighter and tighter, pops above. You fail this consolidation here, the 27.5, can't really make it, and then you quadrunk back to the downside, exactly where you started off. So yeah, let's take a look at some of these names. I'm curious to know what some of these tickers did, and yeah, well, of course Coinbase as well. I always forget Coinbase, but Mara Riot, the classics of the sympathy BTC move, right? Yeah, crazy move yesterday, but yeah, take a look at that. BTC has retraced everything, but Mara has still has about 50% left to go to get back down to the $10 level. 14's rejected, very like a sympathy play coming in, but yeah, I'm sure shorts are kind of expecting this to kind of retrace the whole move as BTC did, but it looks like it's holding right now, so I'd be watching that pretty closely. But yeah, Riot, let's take a look at Riot as well. Riot kind of retraced more of the move, broke yesterday's low, 1160s as well, kind of making its way back down just like BTC. Now MSTR, for those of you who are a little bit braver than I, let's see what MSTR has done today. Yeah, a little 374 rejection. So this one has kind of retraced most of its move, so kind of more in line with the BTC. We can also check GBTC as well. On the pinks, I know Sean likes to trade this one. GBTC kind of looking similar as well, right? Look at that. Look at that trade right there. Sympathy with Bitcoin. Bitcoin retracing the whole move, and best believe that there was a bit of a delay as Bitcoin retraces the whole move, and GBTC has barely started to retrace some of its move there, about 50%, right? What was that last one? What was that last one everybody likes to trade? Coinbase, of course. Yeah, Coinbase looking very, very similar as well here. 85 rejection and then 80 holds, 79 consolidation right now. So yeah, a little bit of sympathy on that BTC. Shake and bake, if you want to call that. You kind of make the move and you give it all back within the next couple of days. That's an interesting move.
A little bit of shaking, a little bit of baking.
I like the backside.
Yeah, shout out to Nimit. Thank you so much, man. You sent out 5 Singapore dollars there saying shout out. Hope Neil gets back. And you're welcome, man. I mean, we're all doing a lot of hard work around here, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And then you are missing Neil, as we all are. He'll be back here tomorrow. He has no damn choice. So Neil, stop your vacation and get into work tomorrow. So that's what's happening right there. And I just actually am talking with Danielle Shea. And you know what? It's always nice, like she just sent me a message and she said she crushed these Affirm calls, because when she was on last week, I said, watch out for this $20 level. She wasn't even looking at the name, and now she's up 85% on these, because there goes Affirm right there. So like I said, I'm glad everyone else is making money. But I didn't make anything on this Affirm because I didn't buy any calls. And there it is right there, nice upside. So shout out to you, Miss Shea. Thank you so much. And she's going to be on the show right now. She's actually looking for the stream right now. So we'll see that. She said it's not up on the page, but it probably is right now. Thanks to Ramin for getting that to me very, very soon. It is up, right, the link? Let me go find it, because sometimes the show link is not up, but I believe it's up right now. So you guys can all join me in the after show where we will have Danielle Shea. She's very excited. She's bullish on, I'm just talking about this now because she wanted to talk about it on the stream. She is looking forward to this report as well from Broadcom coming through right now as well. So that's going to be a good one there. And yeah, join me at 4 o'clock. We've got some big earnings coming, man. We talked about that. MongoDB, AVGO. We've got Lululemon was another one that we want to look at. Some Canadian banks, CIBC coming through as well. But yeah, right now, that's what that is. Well, let me see what I just talked about, ICCT with Nimit. Okay, so nice move. Actually went to 12, not to 13. Not bad. That was at 10 when he asked me. Went up to 12 right there, so not bad, not bad. We'll see if it can hold some weight on that. AMC's not doing too much. CRM, we can check out what that name's doing here. There's not much happening right now. We talked about what kind of a week this is going to be. Here we've already had some great plays early on, and I said that we would also have a good possibility of sitting on our hands here into the afternoon. I mean, I thought we could get a good trade in on SoFi, and look, we got the short. What am I going to do? I mean, we could take 3 cents on this, but yeah. The early mock imbalance, thank you so much, Brendo, for that one, is 470 to sell there. So not much happening on the mock imbalances. We can go over and have a quick look at the imbalances. These are all going to be NASDAQ imbalances right now. Wow, WeWork, what's WeWork down today? 5, okay, it doesn't really matter. 5% on an 11-cent name, like what is that? Less than half a penny or half a penny exactly. Other than that, man, not any big names on here. Remember, we do have a rebalance coming today. I think it's MSCI. So there's some kind of actionable events here. But normally on MSCI rebalance days, this should be lit up, and it's not. So maybe not much in store for the rebalance. But what's up, Brendan?
Just seeing a note from the SEC here. I was watching Coin. So they've delayed decisions on Bitcoin ETFs for Valkyrie, Invesco, and Decision Tree. So 3 possible Bitcoin ETF decisions from the SEC being delayed, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we said this yesterday about all this, right? I mean, I already called the short on Coinbase at $86. That was absolutely great. It did touch 79 today on all of that. That GBTC, you sort of already covered that. And I just think that until you start to get people playing nice with the regulators, I just don't know what to expect of all of these exchanges. So I feel stupid, literally stupid. We talked about this when we were looking at Grayscale. There was a huge opportunity to get out at $21 when it made that move the other day. Like, it's just so ridiculous. It was up 17 or 18% on nothing. I mean, sure, it can turn into an ETF. Like, who cares? I mean, it shouldn't have been up more than Bitcoin. That was the whole point. Bitcoin that day was up 7%. And yeah, what's up, KND Flips? Regulars, mount up. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah, let's go. Like, they need to mount up their candy in the chat, so shout out to you. That was really great. But yeah, and I think this is a good point too, and I'm not trying to be like all tin hatty and everything like that, but like, yeah, man, regulators, what's up to youth? Regulators need to get paid. So the more they delay these things, the more work they have to put in, and the more they get paid. So, you know, billable hours, baby, and they're getting a lot of work done on those exchanges. But yeah, when you were up to 20, I mean, again, I get caught up in the moment, and we don't ever get in or out of our positions while we're live on the show, but we could have got out of this when I left you guys at 11 o'clock. But yeah, up more than Bitcoin made no sense to me. And then there it is, man, Flusherton on the way down there for GBTC. And again, news from Brendan that they're more delays coming through for that one. So we'll see where we go. I mean, spiders went for a little bit of a jaunt to the upside. I mean, I wish more was really happening. Is Google, you know, we talked about
Google
Apple
is
taking out 189. But again, it went up there and just kind of said, yeah, well, it's kind of like last long weekend of summer, so maybe we'll chill out a bit now. Yeah, Warren G regulators. Yeah, that's right. That's for sure. All right, 118, 188.88 there. Just trying to find a trade. What else do you guys want to look at? Is there anything else? We can go back to that ICCT in case it's doing anything. It's not. That ADTX, we just sort of talked about that. Is it back in open yet? No. Yes and no. Went up to 57 there, now flushed down to 48. Quite frankly, I'm not tired of looking at this name, but there's really not giving us much content to talk about because we've sort of talked about that. We can talk about Tilray, people asking about it. It's not moving, so there's that. MSOS, my target for Tilray, I don't really have one. We're getting very, very light on this trade. I mean, you can see we're always getting out, man. Any bumps up to 05, we'll get out. We'll see if there is an imbalance on that. That could be something interesting for your boy over here, but we'll see if that's doing anything. NVIDIA is I mean, we've been shorting it. It's been fine, not great, but fine. You know, this was a great trade there. couple hundred shares on board, but we kind of gave it back up here. So NVIDIA, we are red on the day on that name, but barely. This could be a great short, but again, kind of just doing nothing. If you get down to the 50 period, fine. But now you're 11 minutes away from an imbalance, right? So, you know, if you're sitting there trading something, I'll call up the imbalances for you. NASDAQ's going to get on here at 350, so I can't predict which way NVIDIA is going to go, but that would be something that would scare me away from trading this. And then the other thing too is that we also have warning shots about AVGO today. So I want to thank CompSRX1 in the chat for that one. And also shout out to KRS1 as well, as he's probably watching, or probably not actually. But yeah, so I'm looking to the chat. J&J, okay, we can go to J&J now. J&J's had a problem since Kenvue, right? So that was up to...
What did that do today?
And J&J, oh man, as if I got to clean those up right now. Oh yeah, okay, J&J, nice move to the downside there. Yeah, it's a nice move. It's 30 cents. Yeah, that move happened off the open again. J&J's been flushing, and I mean, only because Obi and I talked about this the other day privately, flushes off the open pretty much every single day on J&J. So congratulations to anybody that's had that one. Unfortunately, I can't really show it to you until I clean these up, but there's the flush. Oh, I guess I could. There's the flush again on J&J early. And then there, we had the conversion of Kenvue. I think it was in and out of the exchange there, maybe. Kenvue got added. I can't remember, but it was just a couple days ago. And since that day, man, they do have some nice moves down for J&J. I want to buy more of this name. This is a staple in my portfolio, so I do like J&J down there. Let's check out Merck, man. Merck was a monster. Not Merck. Eli Lilly, they're a monster on Mounjaro. Is that how you say it? Ozempic. There's also a piece on Ozempic talking about that could be one of the greatest selling drugs of all time. Well, Eli Lilly has one of those in its pipeline as well, and you can see hovering near highs as well for LLY, not LL Bean. Lululemon reporting. Okay, finally. So I'm at 67 where the 200 period is. So here we go. Working out a little bit. Hopefully we can get down. This could be a good trade. We'll make money on this for sure. If it does come back in, you know, we spotted this again, SoFi. These are the kind of trades that I'm trying to do. It's just when the market doesn't move, it's tough. Like, why did it do this? I don't know. Why did it do that? I don't know. But it came right back into support right now, so we'll try to trade this. I'd hate for it to stop at 68 and I don't get the 67 fill. That would really suck. How many fills on the day? A little bit lighter today, 160 fills. So who just asked that? Robinhood. What's up, Robinhood, Zach? Yeah. And if you guys are like, you know, a broker and you want someone to add liquidity for you, yeah, employ me. Oh yeah, I'm on the show though. So there's that as well. SPY is right now trying to cross over the 200. Not really. I was going to say the SPY trying to move. I know that's more your baby. You've been looking at the SPY, but SPY.AM.
Yeah, I like the hold on the 451. It's still kind of there.
You on me or him? Me, still. Yeah, so right there. I said view up though, 451.50, so there's something there. All right, let's go, man. We have 8 minutes till these imbalances.
The chat talking about AMD. Now, I pulled up, we were trying to look at some of the movers, so I pulled up the top volume gainers on the day, and today, and AMD is number 5. AMD is number 5 on the day. We saw what it did in the morning, tried to push yesterday's high at that 107.50, 107.60 area, gets up to 108. Can't really make it, wicks off on the 15. You make lower highs, 750 then breaks, and then you break this morning trend. And then you come back in and retest kind of the low of the range here, right? So yeah, I think that's interesting where like you have a volatile move, and then the next day you kind of test that range, almost defining that range, almost a double top here off that 107.60. But at the same time, one could argue that this is almost like a triple bottom or whatever. But regardless, there's definitely supply up here, and there's demand down here at the 105s, supply at the 107.50s, and that's becoming very clear over yesterday and today on AMD there. That 105 looking like a decent place where buyers kind of show up over and over again. Well, by over and over again, I just mean that on Tuesday they did, as well as Wednesday, and then today, that's where the selling kind of stopped and buyers stepped up again for a little bit of relief there on AMD through that. Let's take a look at what our friend Amazon is doing. Amazon just back up, slowly grinding back up to the highs. I said, yeah, I did not, like I was watching the tape, I was just like, yeah, no, the selling was definitely a little bit more prominent there. I already got slapped trying to short into strength here, not really regarding this overall trend that we've been having. Look at this solid trend. Yeah, I kind of drew this in later, but like, yeah, retrospect, right? You come into that 135 and look at that 135 also being a key level. That was the trade, and I guess I kind of missed that and fought the short on the way up. Yeah, I definitely have to reassess that trade from this morning. Might have been a little hopped up on the espresso, but yeah, a bit of erratic moves that I made on that. But that, yeah, the selling came in, but look at that. You hold the 137, you're pushing back towards highs, and you know who else is pushing back up towards highs? Apple. Apple staying strong, staying hella strong on this trend we've been having over the past couple of days, right? We talked about this 187.70. Look at that. It comes in twice today. So it just goes to show I gotta be at my desk for some of these trades, right? I can't be leaving too much, and I don't think I was here in and around 12:45. Yeah, definitely not really sitting at the desk. Look at that level that comes in right at that 187.50 on Apple. We knew that there was some interest up here at the 187.50s and 60s from yesterday. You wick off of that resistance turn to support, and now you're pushing for highs. I think that's very clearly directional. This is a very directional week on Apple as it slowly grinds back towards the upside. Maybe that 200 is incoming. Let's go for that 190 first. Jesus. But yeah, that Tesla as well, #1 volume leader on the day. Tesla, I'm still waiting. I want to see what it does with that, if it makes a lower high or not. We were talking about this kind of long-term trend that it has, downtrending, right? Off of the 300. If I can just load, if this chart will just load, All right, let me just, yeah. If I switch the time frame, oh no, TradingView is doing it again. All right, well,
sure,
anyways.
We've had issues with that too, man. It's not
yeah, okay, there it is. Yeah. All right, got it. So yeah, so you can see it much more clearly on the 1 day. Take a look at that. Yeah, maybe it was time to buy some puts up here. We were talking about that 300 reject, kind of pulls back in all the way to 200, giving you about 100 points of premium on those options if you took those 300 puts or anything otherwise. But yeah, let's see if we make that lower high, or we kind of blast off this trend, finally kind of making that flush lower, comes back in, holds, and pops back up. So, you know, that's what I'll be watching for. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, just really quick. We got Brendan with the read, but I just want to say, Nimit, alert, alert, alert. I gave you 13. We just touched 1280 right there. Why am I giving you that? Like, when I should just be going long? We just made a 30% move back up on that name, and I'm sitting here like, what's NVIDIA doing? But all right, let's go over there and talk to Brendo about IG.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. Oh, sorry about that.
Talking about ICCT.
Yeah, I was talking about ICCT there. I was like, I can't believe I didn't take that right there, but a good call anyways. All right, we'll ring some little bit of registers. We haven't done this enough today. Money. Good one there on SoFi. I mean, we're sitting at 65. Maybe we can get some bids there. We did get our 66 fill. We actually took a 67 fill because I was like, if I missed that, that would look pretty bad. So we take a 67, we take a 66. At least we sort of talked about that trade. You guys can trade that with whatever share size you like. We only have 2 minutes left until we are done. Until the imbalances, and then we got another 10 minutes out of that right now coming through. So yeah, that's a good little look there on ICCT. So watch out for that one, Nimit, as that one's coming through again. NVIDIA, remember when it was 496, and I'm like, I'm just bailing on this and not getting out, and actually we got out at 495.50. So a shout out to Comp SRX1 on that one, because I may have shorted again there and then just got hit again. So NVIDIA all the way back to day's high right now, and yeah, it is still continuing to bleed lower. You guys, I just retweeted it. You guys can go find it out. The after show is getting ready to go right now. So if you come down into here it is right now. 400K subscribers. Thank you so much. There it is right here. So we've got Lulu, Dell, and Broadcom coming through with MongoDB as well. A couple good ones there. Come check it out right now. I like these bears and bulls right there. I don't know about this guy, but I like everything else right there. So shout out. Come join me. The link is now live. You can crack it right there and then start to get in there. It's only a half hour, so if you can spend a half hour with me after market, I do want to talk about those names and go over a couple things with everybody on the show. Here we go. Here comes the pullback in. We will wait to see, man. This is going to be a big, it should be bigger than normal on the imbalance locator today because we do have on board the MSCI rebalance. So we'll talk about that all as a group here as we look at it. I know we're all looking for different things, so we'll see if there is any different things coming through for us here today on the imbalance locator. So far so good. Let's just see what does print out here with only 10 seconds to go. Brendan gave us, Brendan just said something about Tesla. Is Tesla doing something? Tesla, nice rip through 260. Yeah, man. We talked about 260. That buy, Neil got some at 225, I believe. I got some at 240. Good day for Tesla. Here they all come out, man. We got to get rid of BKR. So let me just go like this, activate that so we can see. There are, I thought that was NVIDIA. Ooh, man, I thought that was NVIDIA right there. Nuva right here. So that's a big one, man. It's a big sell. Probably some index action on NUVA today. DraftKings with a monster sell. These could all be shorts, man. Hood. I still got SoFi on there. Hood with a sell as well. Let me just zoom in a little bit here to see if there's anything happening a little bit closer on this one. What other names? BAC with a buy. Again, look at this. What's the number there, Brendo? Tell me that that's a mistake, Brendan. He is shaking his head no. So even though there's a lot of numbers on here, it's only 280 million to sell. So these will all most likely pair off. It seems like it's a little bit of a mixed board here for that. It's funny. I'm like, Brendan, tell me it's a lie. He's like, nope. Nikola. What? Nikola's all the way back down to $1 again, guys? Wow, Nikola. Okay, nice little move down to the $1. That's getting a little bit of a bump up, but 1 million shares won't do too much to that. AMD's on there. We didn't see that. Ooh, nice little buy there for AMD. Starting to go back up to the upside. Is AMD affecting its brethren, as we say, with NVIDIA right now? No. So AMD's kind of NVIDIA are just like chilling together right here. So nice moves happening on the board right there. Palantir. I might just start to get out of all of these shares at some point, guys, because, why not? As we can go. Tilray making the move back down as well. You could do that trade that our friend, and really is a friend now, Chris Brecher, has been having a great great time with that show. He keeps telling me how much he enjoyed it, and wants to keep coming back on. But that's what we're doing right now. WeWork, we could look, what? That looks like a big move for WeWork, which it kind of is. So a nice move back up on that one as well. But other than that, man, not a lot happening from what I can see. Oh, SoFi. I just wish there was more happening, guys, right now for all of us. But SoFi making that move back upside again, I guess. We could punch maybe we'll just punch this out and call it a day. But we'll put some more bids down here at 66. Maybe we're lucky enough to get a fill there on SoFi. But, let's just check out was Apple's doing anything here as a late day possible move. Look at the futures, guys. Honestly, relatively uneventful. When we talk about people chilling out at, you tell me, Obi, whatever you want to do. If you are been chilling out today, it's probably not a bad call. The market's not doing a heck of a lot. I think that was a decent head fake at 189 and change there on Apple. But any last kind of thoughts here, Obi, as we just get into the next couple minutes?
Yeah, I just want to say that take a look at some of these ranges that we kind of drew in on these futures here, right? So we noticed that it's been in this channel all day, and then same thing with the NQ, and still respecting it very well into the close. About 7 minutes left now to print this last 15-minute candle. So yeah, let's see. Even if we dunk down on the ES, it's still well within range, and even if we pop up, so still well within range. So we've just been chopping up and down, and NQ not as much in a range, but definitely holding this support off this 15.4, 15.5 area here into the 15.6, right? So we're kind of building that trend up into it going into the end of the week. So maybe we finally get some real relief on Friday, right? Let's see how we kind of draw out that weekly candle on some of these futures here. But yeah, this is what I'm noticing going into the close. Just we've maintained the range, right? So that's all I have.
That's a wrap. Okay, good, man. We were lucky enough to get a 96 there on Tilray, so that ends that trade, which was pretty good for us, man. I mean, we got that early. We did average it back in. We didn't get out of everything, so we actually had a bigger position down here, which is fine. So that was good. That's why my average price was, what was it, 91s or something like that. I should have looked at that before I got out. But anyways, most of them out up here for sure. We were holding that last 10 or 20% and we just got out at 96, so that was a good play. Palantir, I guess we only got part filled up there at 05 as it's coming back down, so we may just punch the rest of these bad boys out. Oh, we actually get one of those half prints just happened right there. So now out of that, we got out of... things just aren't really moving here into the close. Although the market's coming back down, I guess we should have been somehow smart and known that the short was coming through. But SoFi, we got a 66 fill there as it just ripped back up. You can see it is printing back and forth there for SoFi. So that's going to end the day nice for us as well. It's now 3:55. Let's just have another quick look at those imbalances as they come through here. Oh, Donkey Kong still to the sell side. Hey, Ramin, how you doing? Not too bad. Okay, good. All right, DraftKings. Wow, we should have just respected that short for sure on DKNG. So again, another decent look there for DraftKings into the close. Shoot, that would have been a good trade. That would have been a good one there. Missed it on DraftKings. So that's me missing the trade on DKNG. But yeah, man, Apple turns into a sell. So that's... I didn't see Apple up here before. If I missed it, I missed it. But that's a sell right there. Pretty good sell in there for Apple. I'd never seen that in a while. So there goes Apple. And this is what I mean, guys, about trying to sit on your hands if you can do that. I mean, look at that flush there on Apple. How the hell, if you don't know anything about these imbalances, like that's one right there that just showed up.
Wow.
Flushing the market.
Wipes the whole move.
What did?
Wipes the whole move.
Wipes the whole move on a last second imbalance.
Yeah.
That was market, basically unmarket related to the stock. But see what I'm talking about when I'm saying maybe trade the futures?
Yeah. Take a look at what the futures are doing.
I'd rather not.
Like we talked about kind of holding that in, and yeah, like sure we might have to clean up the line a little bit better, but yeah, if you can go over to my screen here, yeah, so it's not really like it's still holding that kind of range low there, right? Even on that drop. So let's see if we kind of push how far we really push into it. If this kind of holds on this sell imbalance and we kind of stay within trend, like yes, we kind of knew it had room to get down, but yeah, with 3 minutes left to the close, let's see how this 15-minute candle closes. It looks like we're just going to respect that range, respect that trend on the day there. But yeah, nothing really too crazy other than if you took that kind of short off the imbalance. I definitely wasn't necessarily there right at the 50, but yeah, I'm still looking for opportunities with about a few minutes left into the close.
Yeah, I mean, wow, here on some of these moves, man. Look at the SPY just bleed out, man. Bleed out all day there on the not all day, last 10 minutes there. Nice move. Remember, there was that trade. We could watch it. Chris was talking about the last 30 seconds of the day. We weren't able to really put that together yesterday because we were basically flat. I think we wound up losing 15 cents. But he was just talking about how some of these levels will come through there at the end of the day. And then give us that little quadunk down. So we'll see. Remember, it was just a small sell. It was only 280 million. I believe if you had a running total, that would have got increased a lot because of Apple there. Because Apple was 2.2 million shares, something like that. So a nice little downside move. I only got 2 minutes. Obi, I'm not here tomorrow, so thank you so much again for everything that you did for me and for the viewers this week. It's been a fantastic week. Wow, the SPY is still making that move down. You are going to have Neil here tomorrow, and if he's not here tomorrow, then God help us all. I don't know what we're going to do.
It's
but
going to be me and
it's going to be Obi's show.
And, okay,
You and Ramin.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I shouldn't have said that because they might want Ramin more than myself, you, or No, not you and Kat, man. I don't want to set this internet on fire. Okay, we have Broadcom, VMware, Lulu, Lemon, Dell, and Mongo. So, I mean, there's big names. I think we've done a good job of covering a lot of those names here into the close. Ooh, I got to make sure I cancel all my, oh yeah, SoFi, nice move down into 64 right now as that's still going. Let's just punch out the rest at 65. We're done. All right, we're waiting for 63s. I don't have much time left, only a minute left in the day. But yeah, some good earnings coming through there today, tonight. So we'll talk about all that with Ms. Shea. And it should be a good one as we are now flat across the board. We just punched out of everything. So enjoy. You're okay, Obi, for here into the close?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so 359. I only said that in case there was a stock that Obi was looking at here on the imbalance locator. Kind of everything pairing off and not much happening right now. With only, Ramin, you were just over at the bell. Why don't you go back if you can? With only 20 seconds left right now. It will be Ramin on the bell. You see Kat behind us. Are they fighting? I don't know what they're doing right now. We'll see right now. Oh, right there it is. The countdown's up as we go. Oh, yeah, move those guys. There's the bear and the bull. Is there 4, 3,
2,
1. Yeah, I don't know. They're trying to plan something pretty fun there. So that would be cool there into the close. Thank you so much for what a great day it's been. I've already given you enough praise, Obi, so thank you so much for coming through. There's never enough.
I'm learning a lot, man.
There's never enough.
Sitting beside you, I've said this before, right? Sitting beside you all week, Sean, thank you for all the advice.
No problem.
And
I'm not going anywhere.
Watching you trade as well, it's like I'm learning. I'm learning so much and figuring out how to tweak some of my own trading as well, right?
Good, man. Good. Yeah. No, we're really proud about everybody that we've been able to sort of march out here on some of our absences and stuff like that. So, yeah, thanks to you, Max. Yannick today was another one there today. So,
Yannick's been doing a great
big
job
shout out to that guy. Yeah. I mean, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do, right? And so I appreciate it, man. Well, what's up, Jackie? Saying Sean is that dude. Obi getting a lot of love on here as well. People putting up the ones. I didn't even ask for that. So shout out to Obi on the chat, and everybody knows that that's all good. So, all right, man. I will have a nice weekend. Everybody join me in approximately T-minus 0 seconds. As soon as the show is done, we're heading over there. So, Obi, why don't you say goodbye to everybody, and I'll go over there. So what's up to Obi? Thank you for all the love in the chat. So why don't you wrap it up?
All right, thank you guys. It's been a great week. Now, of course, you're going to see me tomorrow as well. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching and thanks for tuning in. Thank you thank you everybody for making the show what it is. Right. So we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Here on how things not only ended today, but guess what? That was August. Hope you enjoyed it. The month is done. All 3 U.S. indexes here in the books, red, unfortunately, for the month of August.